what was going through your mind in that possession when Jimmy went down and went up for that three with 17 to go or whatever?
Man, that's...
All right, we'll take questions for Al and Jalen, please. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you, thank you.
Man, yeah. I was hoping to God. My mind was to rebound because I was in the game, so I didn't want to give up an offensive rebound. But when he shot that, I was like, man, what the hell? But he missed. We get the rebound. We move on.
You talked a lot after Game 6 about having confidence in you guys coming down here, being able to play well and win this game. How proud are you of the way you guys were able to stay disciplined, stay focused, not have any of the lapses you guys had turnover-wise, and pull this thing out at the end?
That's what we do. We did all of that on purpose to make it interesting. So, nah, I'm just kidding. But, that's us. We've been responding all year, all season to adversity. Today was the biggest test, not just, of the year, but, of our careers to mentally come into a Game 7 away after losing on our home court, which was tough, and we got it done.
Al Horford, first player from Dominican Republic in the NBA Finals. Let me know how you feeling. Everybody in the yard was watching the game tonight.
Sí, que en la República se sienta. Esta es una celebración. I'm very, very grateful, very, very excited. Hey, ya lo sabe, ya lo sabe. And we're here in Miami, really close to DR. I know my family's happy. Everybody's happy. Everybody's watching. The country was watching. I know everybody was there. They were sending me pictures. They were ready for this, and we're enjoying this one.
Yo soy dominicana también.
Sí, Jalen de lo mío, de lo mío.
Sí.
Al, you're over here. First trip to the finals. I mean, I'm sure you can see that throwing the ball up in the air and getting down on your knees. Like, can you just describe the moment of having all of those years kind of lead to this moment for you?
Yeah, I mean, just didn't know how to act. I'm out there just, you know what I'm saying, just caught up, excited. A lot of hard work. I've been a part of a lot of great teams, a lot of great teammates, and I'm so proud of this group. These guys, I seen JB come in the league, take steps, take levels. I seen JT the same thing. I seen Smart grow. And for me, it's just special to be with them and being able to help them and be a part of this. So I'm really grateful to be in this position.
Nobody deserves it more than this guy on my right here, man. Just his energy, his demeanor, coming in every day, being a professional, taking care of his body, being a leader. I'm proud to be able to share this moment with, a veteran, a mentor, a brother, a guy like Al Horford, man. He's been great all season, really my whole career. So I'm happy to be able to share this moment with somebody like him.
Al, so you've played in a lot of playoff games, been on a lot of playoff journeys. This one in particular, what you guys have had to go through and overcome, winning this Game 7 on the road. When you look back, obviously they still have a lot to look forward to, but when you look back, what sticks out in your mind about how you guys have gotten to the finals?
Really the process. Really everybody, Coach Udoka was very clear what he wanted us to be as a team. Our identity, defensively, hang our hat on the defensive end, and on offense, play freely, use Jalen and Jason, and just kind of just go. And us understanding and buying into that. It took us a while, but I feel like once we started to understand how we needed to play, we became more consistent. This journey, it's not easy, and we got a hard path. Brooklyn, Milwaukee, the defending champs, and Miami, that's a team that look what they did. They took us to the brink. So for our group, it's resiliency. It's switching the page, moving on to the next thing, and we did that all season, and I really noticed it, and I was telling this to JB, but it was like early February, that I just noticed how we started to click, and people were like, well, you guys are beating teams that have guys out, guys are hurt, and all these things, and I was like, it doesn't matter, I'm seeing something different in how we're playing, and that's how we're just going to carry it on, and that's what we've been doing.
Jalen, this is kind of the first time since '08 that you guys can do something about the blank banner, banner 18, so to speak. What's kind of your thought process there
Just a great opportunity. This is what all the work that you put in your whole life for is to be in these moments, to get to play in the finals, to represent not just the organization, but your family, your community, your extended community. It doesn't get too much better than that. So we got to embrace it, but also embrace the challenge because we're playing a team that's been there, done it before. And if we expect to win, we got to come with our A game.
Al, could you just describe what went through your mind as Jimmy's coming down in transition there? You were off of him and you were loaded, right? I mean, you had position.
Yeah, I mean, I was loaded. I didn't know what he was going to do. It seemed like he was the shot, but I just had to make sure that I stayed solid. And when he pulled up for the three, I was like, let me just contest, the best way that I can. He got a good look at it. And it was nerve-wracking. It was nerve-wracking. He pulled up and anything could have happened there. He could have made the shot. And, fortunately, I contested it enough and, he missed it and we were able to get control of the ball.
You've had an emotional week. What's this week been like for you?
It's it's been difficult, for me and my family. My grandfather was somebody that I was extremely close with, somebody that I really care for, and all week, my mom, my family just kind of telling me to just go out there and play. That's something that he would have wanted me to do, to just continue on and really just trying to stay focused and understand that he's at peace now.
Al, this whole year you guys have built this great defense where Marcus is up top, Rob is kind of behind you, you're in the middle. Both those guys have been in and out so much this year, or this playoff run. You've continued to hold down the fort. What was the big challenge in this series, and especially tonight, just getting whatever stops you could and getting those rebounds too?
Yeah, for us, it's staying connected. Jalen and all our guards did such a great job chasing their shooters. I mean, it's hard guarding Strus. It's hard guarding those guys. And Kyle Lowry, he's, very good veteran, very shifty, knows how to play. So for me, it was just really holding it down, just being back there, supporting our guys, and just kind of being there for them. And obviously watching for Bam, making sure that he's not getting behind me and things like that. So, defensively, our team was really committed to it, and that was the key. We were really engaged, and it's, like I said, that's what we've been doing all year, and this game was even more important for us to be that way.
Derek, after Game 6, said, if it's easy, it ain't us. Can you just, you alluded it to her earlier, both of you, just each step of the way has been difficult. Does that add a little satisfaction, the fact that you were able to overcome over and over and over again to get to this point?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to win in this league, especially in the playoffs. Any given night, things could go differently, but, a good team, is able to respond. A good team is able to put their best foot forward each and every night. It's a couple games that we felt got away from us, and instead of carrying it like baggage, we wore it like, a badge of experience, to help us get prepared for the next game. And, we war tested. Like, we've been through a lot. We've learned a lot over the years, and now the stage is at its brightest. We got to apply everything that we learned into these moments.
Yeah, and to Jalen's point, winning is hard, and we've talked about this throughout the year, but even though that we've played many years in the league and things like that, this team, this is us going through this process, figuring it out, understanding how to win with this team, with this group, and it's experience after experience. These are battle-tested teams that we've been playing, and we continue to grow. Our team is just, we're just trying to get better each game.
Boom.
Yeah, very grateful to God for putting me in this position. I actually this past week I would look at on the phone, I would look at photos from a year ago, exactly what I was doing at the moment. And today my son actually graduated from kindergarten. So I remember that we had pictures for him, and I picked him up from school, and we had the cupcakes and we had all this stuff. So it's like perspective for me. Like I always look back and see where I was, and just day to day. And I'm just, just very grateful to be in this position with these guys. So. All right. Oh, thank you, guys.
I know it's hard right now, but can you sum up a night and maybe sum up a little bit of a season as well, please?
Yeah, it's just one of those really tough moments. You can't prepare for it. You're not thinking about it. It's one of the worst feelings in the world to address, your locker room after a game, like this. When it ends, it ends in a thud, and I have just so much incredible respect and love, for everybody in the locker room and what everybody gave to this team, and we had such a memorable season and postseason. It felt like 5 seasons in one. All the different chapters and adversity that this group was able to overcome. It was a really a fun group to be around. It was a hard-edged group, but it's all the qualities that we love, the good, the bad, and everything in between. And it's heartbreaking, when it ends like this. And you certainly have to credit the Boston Celtics organization and their team and their coaching staff. Ime just did a tremendous job, this year, building on what they've done the last 6-7 years. And they've probably done it the way that it's supposed to happen in this league. You build a team and you have frustrating losses. You stay together for keep your core together, keep your culture together, and then you eventually find a breakthrough. We tip our hats off to them. They are a heck of a basketball team. They really can defend at a high level. They're competitive, and they have 2 guys that are tremendous, but they're role players, really fill in the gaps. They complement each other so well. Smart was terrific tonight. So we tip our hats off to them. This was all about competition, and we faced a team that kind of matches all of the best qualities of what we do. It was fitting that it would probably come down to that last possession. While I continue to ramble, I thought it would have been an incredible storyline, Jimmy to pull up and hit that 3, and I love that about Jimmy. That was the right look, and I just thought, as it was leaving his hand, I thought for sure that was going down. Good, clean look. It's definitely better than anything that we could have designed, and it's just a shame that it didn't end that way. But I can't compliment Boston enough. They've gone through the fire, and they earned that right to go to the finals.
Have you seen the replay yet on the Max Strus overturned 3, and what was your reaction when you found out so far after the fact?
I was in shock. I was asking, Quinny about that. The fact that it happened, 3 to 4, 5 minutes later in game time, that does change the context of how you're playing. We were starting to gain some momentum, and you feel like it's a 7-8 point game, and then all of a sudden it's a 13-point game. You're looking up, and there's no explanation for it other than it's gone back to to the league offices. You feel like if it happens like that, it should happen immediately, and then you can adjust accordingly. But look, that's not the reason we lost. We still had plenty of opportunities. We just couldn't get control of the game. A lot of that was Boston. But, we didn't stop grinding, and we gave ourselves a shot at it, at the end. We just couldn't make enough plays during the course of the game. It felt like most of the game we were grinding from an 8 to 10 point deficit.
Jimmy played every second tonight. Was that the plan entering?
It wasn't, but I was going into this like by any means necessary. I have so much freaking respect for the guys in the locker room, and Boston was going through their stuff too. This is one of the most admirable, honorable series that I've been a part of. Guys that were clearly not anywhere near close to 100% on both sides. You have guys staggering around out there, and then there's a loose ball and instincts just take over. It was extremely physical, really hard played, well played at times, and because both teams, are so effective defensively, sometimes it was probably ugly, to the average fan, but to us, it's beauty. But we had to play Jimmy and Bam. We couldn't afford to take them off the court tonight.
With PJ, you went out early in the third quarter. Was there an injury there that kind of kept him from playing the rest of the night?
Yeah, look, I don't want to speak on behalf of our players, but Tucker is a Miami Heat guy. I would say for the majority of this playoff run, he's just been willing himself to get out there and do what he does best. I marvel. There's probably 5 or 6 times where the trainers told me, I don't think Tuck's going tonight. And I joked about it with you guys all the time. I couldn't ask him how he was doing, and I couldn't ask the trainers in front of him how he was doing. He just has an incredible will inside of him to overcome anything that he may be feeling. I think if this series, could have been at some point where we could have had 2 days in between somewhere, or maybe a couple of those gaps, I think guys could have recovered a little bit more. But both teams were dealing with it, and we were dealing with quite a few things as well. It's not an excuse. We got beat, and I love the fact that our guys were putting themselves out there. Kyle, whatever minutes he played tonight was way more minutes than he should have played. And the same thing for Tyler. Tyler just absolutely made himself available when he really didn't have any practices. And if it was during the regular season, there's no chance he would have played.
Spo, you've coached several historically great players. How would you sum up the series that Jimmy just put together?
Yeah, it's one of the great performances, of an elite competitor. Jimmy has this competitive will that is so unique. That's a talent unto itself. There's a lot of basketball players in this league. Jimmy is a great basketball player. He is a world-class competitor, and he knows how to win basketball games, and that's a talent. And for young players coming into the league, I think that's a missing talent or skill. It becomes about all the other skills, but that's what makes Jimmy so unique as a world-class player. He just knows how to compete to win and to compete to not let you lose. That's an incredible DNA that he has inside of him.
And just to follow up on the max shot, you guys don't make excuses on the whole, but would you like to see moving forward the league look at the policy where somebody in New York can overturn a play 3-4 minutes after it happened?
I'm sure they're going to look at that, and we'll probably be the case study for it. I'm okay with that if it happens, the way it used to. They would look at it, at the next foul or break and look at it and notice it. But it was probably 10 minutes of real time. Somebody check on that. I'm not crying or whining. Come on, we got beat. This was 2 competitive teams going at it. We had a crack at it at the end, even as uneven as the game seemed. We had a crack at it. Our guys are never going to, not think that we have a chance at it. But that was so unusual, for us to be grinding and starting to get some momentum. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, hey, by the way, take away that 3 and with no explanation. That's just the human side of it. it's not the complaining side of it. Like, who knows if that would have changed anything anyway.
Eric, as you said, if this was in the regular season, no chance Tyler would have played. Was it a tough call for you not playing him in the second half, or was it clear cut because he was limited?
I mean, we're making I felt like this series I was making decisions I've never made before in my career. But I've had that before also. During those championship runs, we had guys that day after the season were getting surgeries. So it was very similar. These last two series, it was a daily meeting with the training staff to get an inventory of where guys were. But these guys were so committed, to the challenge that they're willing to do whatever it took to get themselves out there and compete and really compete at a high level. Physically, it just shows you the mental toughness of the guys in the locker room.
With the offense kind of looking like it was, Bam seemed to try and kind of just brute force it a little bit with Jimmy. What did you think of what you got at Bam tonight? Yeah,
I liked his assertiveness. We needed it. It was tough to generate good, clean looks. I think Tyler, would have helped in this series to be able to have another playmaker, a guy that could, get into those gaps and make those plays in between that are not necessarily scripted or play call actions. That's part of his greatness. So as we were cycling through, who was available, I thought Bam's assertiveness was vital. It was really important for us, for him to be able to put some pressure on the rim and create some opportunities out of nothing, not out of a play call, but just out of driving, and making some plays. That's definitely something he'll be able to build on, as he's reinvented himself every offseason. He's got every year in the last 3 or 4 years, he should have been considered most improved player.
Eric, I know that the standard in this organization is to go for a championship. When you look back to how this started in training camp, though, did this team exceed your expectations in some ways?
Ethan, it's probably tough for me to answer that right now because of all the emotions. When it ends like this, it ends with a thud. You're not ever contemplating that I would be speaking in front of you guys talking about, the off season. It just was not even a thought with anybody in the locker room. That's part of the makeup that I love about this group. So when I say it exceeded expectations, how do I say that without being disrespectful? No, it feels heartbreaking. We just wanted a crack at it, a crack at Golden State and just find out, as competitors. I love this group. This team was here to compete for a title. And in that regard, I think we lived up to those expectations, but we fell short. We'll never know. And that's the part that we'll have to live with.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you all. Everything this year has been a heck of a run with everything and the masks and all that. Just appreciate all of you. Okay.
Ime, just start with the obvious, to come all the way back here and get a berth in the NBA Finals in your first year as head coach. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. It's been a long road, obviously, throughout this season. Feels like it was always meant to be this way. Difficult, obviously, 2 Game 7s in the last 2 series, and shows what I said about our group, that we fought through a lot of adversity this year, a resilient group, and tonight seemed to kind of typify our season. And had a 17-point lead, led start to finish, so that was good. We got off to a good start, but can't ever quite slam the door, but have to grind it out. And bottom line is if we hold somebody in the 90s, we feel good about ourselves, so this is a typical Celtics win.
Ime, all year for you guys, it's over here. Defense,
you pile up, I believe it was 11 stops on 14 shots there midway through the fourth. What do you just see in this group when they're rolling at their highest level defensively? And then on Al, him being around all these guys, Brown, Tatum, Smart already, what do you see about the way they just responded to his leadership? Like, what just works for him as a leader for these guys?
Yeah, first question, defense is our identity. It's been there and held us, got us through the tough times when the offense wasn't clicking. Games when the offense doesn't click to the level it should, we can always rely on that. And, that was the case tonight. Got big leads, dwindled it down, and we continued to get stops when we needed to, especially at the end. To your point, 11 out of 14 possessions. And so that's our identity. It's kind of what we hang our hat on. And when you look at our team across the board, very high-level defenders, first team, second team guy, defensive player of the year, all 5 starters getting a first-place vote. So they've all bought into that and love them for that. Regarding Al, it's incredible what he's done all season. As I mentioned, came into training camp in extremely great shape, chip on his shoulder, prideful, wanted to come back to Boston, and for him to play 44 minutes, at this stage of his career and lay it all out there, guarding big, smalls, and everything in between. His leadership goes without saying. A vocal guy, but does a lot by example, and I think everybody kind of ties into him.
Two things, Ime. First, you talked the past couple of days about having belief you guys would come in here and play the way you needed to win. How impressed were you by the poise you guys showed throughout, the first 46 minutes or so to not, have the lapses mentally, the turnovers, the kind of stuff that's plagued you guys throughout this series?
Yeah, it was great. It was what we talked about the start of the game. We wanted to get off to a better start. Our magic number with turnovers has been 12 within the series. We got 13 tonight, and then kept them off the offensive glass. So all the little things that we talked about coming into it, we did really well, and that got us out to the lead. Played with extremely fast pace early, 13 in the first quarter and 20 for the game, fast break points. And so we kind of hit all the targets that we wanted to and guarded the three-point line well, 6 for 30 as far as that. When it got close, seemed like we were obviously up 17-13 and kept getting down to single digits. We held our composure, never panicked. Guys made big shots, big plays, and we defended at the level to get it back up. Although it would go back down at times, it's a credit to the Heat team and Spoelstra and everything they're doing. Obviously, I come from a San Antonio atmosphere, culture, environment, and this is one of those teams that has the same thing going on here, a certain standard no matter who's on the court. So we knew they were going to beat themselves, going to make it tough, and going to fight till the end. Championship team, they got there last year. So credit to our guys for bouncing back from that, keeping our composure, and finding a way to win it.
And you mentioned how sort of in the theme of your season that nothing is ever easy. What was going through your mind when Jimmy went down and pulled up for that three with 17 to go?
He's been making big shots throughout this whole series, especially last game and in game one. Came out in attack mode, and we had defended him, decent overall. I mean, he had a big first half, but we were much better in the second half. And he's just a guy that's made big shots and puts that team on his shoulders. So, not surprised by anything he's done. Played through pain and injury, and as well as the rest of their team. And we just came out a little bit more fresh tonight, and that's sometimes the luck of the series, luck of health, and how it goes.
Hey, May. You obviously had a vision for this team. You knew what you had, but they also had to buy in and get used to what you wanted them to do. Just getting to this point, just looking back on that, just how well did they do?
Yeah, you can't complain. You can't get any better than number one in defense and where we were on the season. So that was always pretty high level. And when everybody figured it out and got on the same page, we took off defensively. Had obviously several sustained games under 100 points and blowouts due to that. And then the offense started clicking later. Guys understood what we were asking of them. Had some chemistry up and downs early with the COVID and injuries and all that. But once they got on the same page, can't complain about anything. Obviously, to get to this point, we had to flip the switch and turn around in a lot of ways. And guys were always receptive to coaching, to being coached hard, to being pushed, to being asked to do more, and that shows the character of our group. Young guys that really want to be pushed to grow and take the next step. They've all been here, and to get to the championship is obviously the next step, but now our focus is getting forward more.
Ime, your first year coach leading your team to the finals, will you smile about this? You're a serious dude. You do not let your emotions at all. Will you let your emotions go at all? Will you just focus to Golden State. How will you kind of digest this? Because this is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you take the task at hand seriously, and so before tonight, we're not thinking of Golden State or anything but getting this win and finishing out the series. You can't help but smile and enjoy the moment out there on the court. It's kind of forced upon you, and seeing the joy with the players, and it's all about those guys. So, happy for them, and obviously the accomplishment to get us all over the hump. I got spoiled my first 2 years in the league into back-to-back championships, but it's been a long time. Ben Sullivan was there last year, so we can kind of talk about that. But for Jalen, Jason, Marcus, the guys that were here, losing in some Eastern Conference Finals, it's great to see the joy on their face and that they have grown to this level where they're the veterans now that have to shoulder the load and could get us to this point. So happy for them, extremely happy for them. You smiled about it as we're going through it, and we're on the plane, focusing on Golden State now.
Ime, obviously, it's, like you said, a significant achievement for these guys that have been through it. And now you're playing a team that kind of is accustomed to being at this level. How do you guys ensure, and what will the challenges be to ensure that you're not satisfied with just this part, and that there is that bigger step to take?
Yeah, it would be all for naught if we go lay an egg in the finals, and we understand that. Guys were quick to celebrate, but quick to flip the page and say, we got 4 more. We don't hang or celebrate Eastern Conference championships in the Celtic organization. So we all fall in line and appreciate that standard of excellence. And so playing for championships, we're here now trying to finish the deal. And we played Golden State pretty well this year. Obviously beat them pretty bad late in the season when we were kind of rolling early in the season. Took a close loss, and we had some guys in and out, and they had a big lead early, but we fought our way back. So story of the season, we've competed well against the best teams, and obviously you have to do that to make it to this point now. So very confident going in. I know it's another tough challenge. I think Miami will help prep us for some of the off-ball actions and the shooters that they had. But we know it's a high-level team, executing team that has a ton of great shooters, great players overall, guys I know well, and we're ready for the challenge.
Ime, Jason obviously won the Larry Bird Award. I guess what did you just see out of him throughout the 7-game series for him to get that award?
A guy that's carried us throughout the season, asked a lot to be put on his shoulders and has delivered. You look at the numbers, a 26-point night, and that's kind of standard for him. That's an average night for him. He's averaged 27 this year, first team All-NBA, so he knows a lot is relied upon him. And but you look at down the line, Rob's presence out there playing through soreness and pain is just what we needed. Those 15 minutes is what we ask of him, and just the fact that he's pushing through it, not at 100%, is a testament to him. Marcus as well, and then you look down the line, 26, 24, 24, balance across the board. And but for Jason, he's the head of the snake as far as that. Well-deserved, all the accolades he's getting. And he's only 24 and not even touched his ceiling, not even close to that. So looking for bigger and better things, and obviously he's going to have to do the same in the championship series.
You've talked so much about how your team's advantage is to try to wear the other team down, but you also have struggled with composure, whether it's foul calls or just the flow of the game, especially late in games. Tonight, you guys continued to execute even when you weren't hitting shots and getting big rebounds and things like that. How did you feel like you guys were just able to kind of hold on and avoid that kind of slip that plagued you earlier in the year?
Yeah, I think we've improved in that area. One thing I tell them is let me complain to the refs. You guys played through it, and I did plenty of complaining tonight, so enough for the rest of the group. But I think we defended at a higher level in the second half. They got to the free throw line a ton in the first half, and we caught up with that number. I think it was 8-22, and so they only shot 2 in the second half, if I'm not mistaken. So we guarded better, paid attention to detail, and just got to fight through things. Refs are human, and we have to play through stuff, and it is what it is. Both teams are aggressive on defense, being very physical, and you just have to play through it. And I think our guys have improved throughout the year as far as that.
You mentioned Rob. I just want to, is he okay? Like, how is the knee right now? And it seemed like he needed a couple of pep talks throughout the course of the game. Like how is he holding up as far as
He's okay. I mean, there's some swelling that limits his movement. Restricted movement as far as that. He can't be himself to his standard and what he wants to do, and we're not asking him to be the Rob when he's 100% healthy. And so he has to understand that we rely on him to keep everybody in their places coming off the bench, keep our units and matchups like we like them to start the game. And it's not going to be the same long rotations as his average minutes from the year, but what he gives us out there is invaluable. It's just a presence in general. And so he understands we're not asking him to be the all-world second-team defensive stopper, but his presence in the paint, getting back out the shooters, getting guys off the line is good enough for us. And, it, like I said, keeps everybody in their place, and he did exactly what we needed of him. So kudos to him pushing through it. And now he gets some rest, some much-needed rest, and hopefully he comes back feeling better. One thing I do want to say and bring awareness to is as we're all celebrating, this win, I can't help but think, when I talk to my son, a 10-year-old, and think about Uvalde and what's happened, I think, we talk about this game that we love and put all our passion into, and it's not life or death. We win or we lose, we kind of go home and kiss your kids and you move on. Either way, we'll be happy if we win and we'd be down if we lost, but you sit back and think about 19 children and 2 adults, that don't get that. That's life or death. That's real, and that's something I don't want to be forgotten. The awareness of that just happened a week ago and seems to be pushed in people's memory already. And so change is needed. It's a game that we play, and regardless of the result, it's not life or death, bottom line. And so just keep that in our minds. Thank you.
You've been through a lot the last 8 years in Boston. I'm just curious, what was going through your mind as the buzzer sounded?
Say that again, last part.
What was going through your mind as the buzzer sounded?
Oh, man, just finally, to be able to get over that hump and have a chance to, make it to the NBA Finals. This is every athlete's dream is to get to that final stage and have an opportunity. And, I've been here 4 years in the Eastern Conference Finals, and I've been sent home every year after. So it feels really good, and it feels really good for Jason and Jalen. We've been together for the longest, and even Al, man. Al, just happy for him. He played all these games, and he works his tail off. He deserves it more than any of us, so it was a great feeling.
And what was going through your mind when Jimmy went down and pulled up for that 3 with 17 to go?
Not again. Man, Jimmy's been playing well, so when he pulled up, it was kind of like, oh, man, just hope he doesn't make it, and I just think our defense wore on him, and he had got a good look from a great player, and, he missed it, and we came up with the victorious, so, we're thankful for that.
Your core group of players has been through a lot together. You've had arguments, publicized arguments, you've had big losses, you had a 500 season. How did that journey shape you guys? How did you stay together through that? And how rewarding is it now to be to the finals with the same group?
It's huge for us. Like you said, we've been through a lot. Literally blood, sweat, and tears. And, we every year we've been in this situation, like I said, and we had to sit there and look ourselves in the mirror, and it had to hurt, and it did. For us, it was just, we wanted to come out here and make sure that didn't happen again, and we did it, like I said. All the years we've been through early on in the season, all the things we went through early on in adversity really allowed us to come here in a Game 7 and do what we done. I think our road record is better than our home record, and that just shows the resilience we have, that we can come into somebody's building and, tear it up, and that's what it's all about, man. This core group of guys, the guys that's on the bench, this coaching staff, this whole organization, they trusted us, and, they allowed us to fix it and work it out. And we've grown from it, and it's definitely helped us in the long run.
Marcus, you talk about Al coming back this year. You, Jalen, Jason were around him early in your careers. What kind of boost was it for him coming back? How can you just describe how that boosted this group? And, what works for him as a leader with you guys?
He's selfless. Al can care less about the numbers. He cares about the wins in this team. And when he came back, that gave us a sense of security. We got Al back there. He's always going to make the right play on both ends. He's going to calm us down. He's going to show us what we missed. And he's going to, help us learn the game even more. And we appreciate everything that he brings to this game. His mentality, his professionalism. And that's the big part for us. The way he comes in every day to work, we look up to that, and we try to implicate that into our lives and in our game.
You've been hurt pretty much every playoff run of your career. This one's been pretty bad. What have you been just fighting throughout the series, and what what was that extra thing you had to dig down and find inside of you to continue to be important to this game at the very end?
Man, my whole right side is a little banged up on my leg. You know, I got the quad injury, I have the foot injury, and then I have the ankle injury. And, you know, I'm not the only one, but it's just definitely been tough, you know. But my teammates just kept telling me, you know, we don't care how hurt you is, man, we need you. You know, 65, 70% of you is better than none of you. So give us everything you can. We'll help you and pick up everything that we can that you can't. And that's just what I wanted to go out there and do. You know, my ankle was hurting pretty bad tonight to the point where I came out, I think, in the first quarter to tighten up my ankle brace. And all I just remember is those guys just telling me, like, listen, forget about it. Play through it. We need you. Just keep it going. And that really stuck with me. You know, it's Game 7. I've been here 4 times and never got across the hump. So for me, it was, I can't let this happen again. And that's what it came down to. So I just wanted to go out there and make sure I left everything on the court.
Marcus, you guys have talked a lot about the resilience that you have. Where does that come from, in your opinion?
Everything we've been through. I mean, individually, together, in our, you know, basketball lives, outside of our basketball lives, you know, we've been through a lot together. We bring it all, you know, we don't hold anything back from each other. And I think that's the beauty of it. I think that growth is inevitable when you do things like that. You know, when you bleed and you sweat and you cry together, it's only right that you build together to get to something great, and that's to get over this hump for us. So, you know, and then on top of that, you got a coach who embodies everything that we embody, and you know, he kind of, you know, puts it on you to let you know that, hey, I'm not taking no slack, and if you don't like it, then you can get up out of here. And that's the type of group we are. You know, we don't want to be babied. We're grown men. We're professionals, and we want to be treated like that. And he comes in and he does that. You know, and that helps us a lot.
Mark, my question was going to be about Ime there. I mean, first-year head coach, 3 elimination games in the last 2 series. You won all of them, on 2 of them on the road. I mean, you mentioned some of it right there, but like just behind a first-year head coach, what's that been like?
It's been fun. You know, he's taught us things that we could learn, and we taught him things. And, you know, we knew that, you know, with him being his first time, you know, it wasn't going to be easy. It was going to be hard, you know, and that's just how it is. And that's just the team we are, though, you know, and that's the mentality we picked up from him. He didn't want it to be easy. He didn't ask for it. He didn't cry about, you know, the circumstances. He didn't cry about where we were in the standings early on in this year. He just stayed on us to keep going. And when you got a coach like that, it's kind of hard not to follow. You know, because you don't want to be that guy that's the one that going, oh, man, here we go, we this or this, when everybody else is moving forward. And, you know, I'm just happy for him. You know, his first year to be able to get to the Eastern Conference Finals after the first beginning of the year we had and then get past the Eastern Conference Finals, man, it's amazing.
Marcus, obviously still have a road ahead of you against, you know, a team like the Warriors. But when you look back at beating the Nets and beating the defending champs and now beating the #1 team on the road in Game 7, what sticks out in your mind as far as the challenges you've overcome specifically and the opponents that you've taken down?
That no matter what adversity is put in front of us, no obstacle, no loop, we're going to get through it, we're going to get over it, we're going to get around it. And that's just how we live our lives on the court. And we really, truly believe that. You know we're going up against a great team with the Warriors, great players, great organization. You know, they have the track record to prove it. They know exactly what it takes. They've been here. They're vets. And we know we got a long road in front of us, but we're up for the challenge.
Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you, guys.
Bam, I know it's difficult at times like this, but can you sort of, for us, maybe sum up both the night and the season and the emotions at this moment? Thank you.
Blank. It's just one of those things, man. You fight so hard throughout the season, ups and downs, injuries, you know, disrespect, and you still find a way to come this close. It's rough.
Bam, what was your mindset offensively coming in tonight? You really seemed to attack the basket and look for your shot early. What was that your mindset entering?
Win or go home. You know, at that point, it's all hands on deck. You know, leaving it all out there.
I know you guys won't use this as an excuse, but 2 years ago when we got to the finals, obviously injuries were an issue, and you guys dealt with a lot of injuries in this series. How frustrating was the timing of these injuries to different guys that limited some guys in this series?
I mean, one thing I love about this team, we fought through adversity this whole year. So, you know, we've had guys out multiple times. You know, so it's nothing normal to us. Just having this. This was the last one this season.
Bam, is there anything you learned about yourself in this series?
Learned about myself. Nah. You know, I feel like this series taught us, you know, how to go down to a game 7. You know, it's just unfortunate we ended up on the losing side.
Bam, the two teams are obviously very closely matched. What difference would a healthy Tyler, do you think, would have made in this series?
I mean, he's our spark off the bench, so I feel like he would have made, you know, a big difference. He's a spark off the bench. You know, he can get it going in a hurry. So, you know, we missed that aspect. But like I said, we fought through adversity before. We fought, you know, being number 1 in the East with a whole bunch of guys out and still staying number 1 in the East.
Ben, what do you think Jimmy proved, not only in the series, but this postseason?
You know, you can put him in that category of superstars. You know, to me, he's one of the best two-way guys in the league, hands down.
All right, Bam, thank you.
Black Lives Matter, people.
Jimmy, can you please take us through that final sequence, transition, Marcus misses, you get the rebound, come down in transition, thought process on that shot at that time, please?
My thought process was go for the win, which I did. Missed the shot, but I'm taking that shot. My teammates liked the shot that I took, so I'm living with it.
Jimmy, you played every second of this game. Did you know that you were going to do that going in, and just kind of what was your mentality entering tonight's Game 7?
No, I didn't know, but with every second that I did play, I feel like I should have done more, could have done better to ensure this win. I mean, ain't nothing you can do about it now, but I just really, really, really appreciate the guys that I get to go to battle with, and I'm grateful for those guys.
Jimmy Spo said many times that there's not going to be any excuses offered, but how frustrating is it that so many of you guys were dealing with injuries toward the end?
Very frustrating. We want to win just like everybody else. Everything we put into this game, day in and day out, it's towards winning, and that's the only thing that we care about here in the Miami Heat organization. But I like it because we can learn from it. I can learn from it as much as anybody else. And in my book, I just think I can't have bad games. I played like trash a couple, and I think that was the series.
Kyle, I know, like Jimmy, never any excuses, but now that it's over, are you able to share how limited you were from the hamstring when you did play the last couple of weeks?
I was out there, and, you know, I was out there playing. That's all that really mattered. At the end of the day, you know, we don't make excuses. You know, we tip our hats to the Boston Celtics. Congratulations, Eastern Conference champions, and, you know, they beat us. And, you know, for ourselves, it is what it is. We go back to the drawing board and back to the bottom of the totem pole like everybody else, besides two teams right now.
Jimmy, how would you sum up the series that you just had?
Not good enough. I didn't do my job. Stats don't mean anything.
as I say over and over again, the Boston Celtics did what they came out here to do in this series. And I learned that I have to be better and I will be better. So, back to the lab. I get the opportunity to work out with these guys over the summer, and we will come back better than ever.
As you look forward now, what do you think you guys need to cross the threshold?
Figure out a way to be consistent. I think we had enough. I think we do have enough. It sucks because, you don't know who's going to be on a roster any given year. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I'm just grateful for the opportunity to play with the guys that I did have the opportunity to play with. And it's been like that every year that I've played in the league. So we had enough. Next year, we will have enough. And we're going to be right back in the same situation. And we're going to get it done.
Jimmy, as one of your all-star running mates in a manner of speaking, what did Bam show you in this game and in this series?
What he's capable of when he has the opportunity to be that guy. I've said it all year long. He's the engine that makes us run on both ends of the floor. He does so many things well. I'm very grateful to be able to play with an individual like him, along with so many other people on our roster. But I think the more and more comfortable that Bam gets, that he knows that he's a star in this league, you can't put a cap and a ceiling on his talent and his abilities. So as long as he's comfortable, he's going to be hell whenever he's out there on the floor.
Kyle, you worked all regular season. You shaped your season a certain way to get ready for this. And I know it sounds obvious, but I imagine it has to be frustrating for that to happen and then for your injury to come when it did. Can you just take us inside a little bit on your emotions about being frustrated given the whole season and then, getting hurt early in the first round?
It's been a wild season for me individually, and my personal life has been, it was a little bit different for me this year. But I'm given the opportunity to play basketball, and anytime I get a chance to play, I'm really happy to do it. I would never make an excuse about injuries, never. I was out there. Jimmy was hurt. Tyler was hurt. Chuck was hurt. They had guys hurt. I wish I would have been able to play a little bit better at a higher level, but I didn't. And it just adds fuel. You don't know how many more opportunities you will have to get back to this. And so for me, personally, honestly, it was a waste of a year. And then I only played to win championships. And so it was fun. I appreciate the guys, my teammates, and I appreciate the opportunity. But for me, it was like, it's a waste of a year. You're not playing for a championship. You're not, win a championship is a waste of a year.
Kyle, just to follow, though, going into your second season, now that you kind of know what to expect with everything here, how much do you think that'll help you hit the ground running next season now that it's not all new to you like it was this year?
I think it helps. I think everything helps, having some continuity with the team and understanding, who you're going to be there with and, tendencies, understanding the offense, terminologies, defensive schemes, offensive schemes, emotions, personalities. It definitely helps. And, we look forward to the opportunity of getting better over the summer and getting back to this opportunity next year.
Jimmy, I know how much respect you had for Tatum coming into the series. What sets his game apart right now?
He does everything. Shoot the ball, can play in a pick and roll. He passes the ball incredibly well. Gets out in transition. Man, he's a superstar, and he deserves that. They deserve the win, and I wish him the best moving forward. But he's one hell of a player, that's for damn sure.
All right, guys, thank you.
Jason, again, you were eerily confident after Game 6, just like you were in Milwaukee after Game 5. Why? What happened? And what's it like to reach this pinnacle, to get over this hump that you've been able to not been able to get over the last few years?
I don't know. I just feel like if you ask the question, how confident are you? I just feel like as a competitor, it's only one way to answer that question. Not trying to be arrogant or anything, but I just really believe in myself. I really believe in our team. And, it's the biggest game of the season of my career. And I just had faith that we were going to give it all we had, regardless of the outcome. But it feels great, honestly. Some of those guys been in the Eastern Conference Finals 4 times, my 3rd time. Obviously we know we want to win a championship, right? But, to get over this hump in the fashion that we did it, obviously we took the toughest route possible. And then to win a Game 7 to go to the championship on the road, it's special.
When, they kept coming at you guys throughout the game and you're able to hang on and pull it out at the end?
Yeah, losing my first year and losing to these guys in the bubble. I think going through those tough times, helped us grow, helped us learn, and once we get in that situation again, we respond differently, and I think that's what it was today. We would get up a big lead, and they're a great team, great, well coached, and they would come back. But we kept responding, and we kept the lead and kept making winning basketball plays. Everybody, and it was big. It really was.
And you guys have been through a lot. Like you said, Jalen and Marcus have been to 4 conference finals. You've been to 3. In this playoffs, you guys beat the 3 teams that have beat you the last 3 years in the playoffs and ended your season. Do you think sort of those collective experiences over the past few seasons all kind of helped you guys get to where you are now?
Yeah, I truly do. And in the moment when you lose those series, obviously, it hurts and it's tough, but you never forget it. And I think, that's what we all have in common, that we all been through those tough times, and we remember how that felt. And, we didn't want to have that feeling again, leaving here tonight. So, we left it all on the floor. And, obviously, we got it done.
You're the first player, obviously, to win that Larry Bird trophy, named after a guy whose records you've broken and continue to chase. How does it feel to have won that trophy, and just the fact that it's named after a Celtic great that you're trying to live up to?
It's an honor. It still doesn't even seem real right now. I'm just extremely happy and grateful, for all of this. And, regardless of how long I've been in the league, I'm not too far removed from, when I was in high school and when I was dreaming about moments like this. So, I still feel like a kid at sometimes that I'm really, truly living out my dream. I thank God every day just to be in this position, to be able to do that. So to be the first person to win this award, obviously after, Larry Bird, still hasn't sunken in yet. But, I'm gonna take it home and, show Deuce tomorrow and enjoy it.
Hey, Jason. You also wore the Kobe armband today. What went into your thinking to wear that in this game in particular?
Obviously that was my idol. That was my, inspiration. That was my favorite player. The shoes I wore, or been wearing the last couple games, were, dedicated to him. And, I just, today, before I took my nap, I do it sometimes. I was watching, some film, and some moments from him in his career. This biggest game of my career thus far. And, I wanted to wear that armband to honor him and, kind of share that moment in a way.
Jason, I know at times you've mentioned or you've addressed the topic, but now that you're in the finals, what gave you the faith in this team at 18 and 21, and what were the things that led you to believe that this was possible?
It was tough. Truly, there were definitely some tough moments throughout the season where not doubt yourself, but maybe question, right? Question, can we do it? You start to realize how hard it is to win. You start to question yourself. Are you good enough to be that guy? But I think you just trusting yourself, trusting the work that you put in to get to this point, and continue to work. It can't rain forever. Good days was coming, and I felt that we were, whatever it was, one step away from clicking. Throughout the season, and obviously once we did, we haven't looked back.
Yeah, Jason, was there a moment that you remember that things started to shift?
I mean, the toughest moment for me was blowing that 25-point lead in New York, and then R.J. Barry hit the game-winning shot over me. That was the lowest moment for me. But I think shortly after that, things started to turn around.
I talked to Marcus, and he mentioned the outside people thinking there was turmoil amongst you guys. How was that, and those early moments, able to bring you together to do this, and how close are you because of that?
Yeah, I think all of those things have helped, from saying that we need to split the group up or get rid of, somebody, or me and JB can't play together. That fueled us to figure it out and, not run from it. That, we obviously are going to be here for a while, and that we trust in each other, and that we had to be better. So, yeah, I think instead of separating, we became closer. And I think it has shown, throughout the season.
Jason, obviously this is a big accomplishment for all of you guys, especially after missing on a few times. But you're now playing a team that's kind of been there and done that. How do you make sure, especially like as a leader, that you guys aren't satisfied with this, and that bigger goal is in front of you, but that, you're gonna go and get it still?
Yeah, I think. This wasn't the goal all season, right? This was just a step in getting where we want to get to. Obviously, this is a big accomplishment. We haven't been in the championship yet, and I think, I think it's all right to be proud of ourselves today and enjoy this. We're not satisfied. We know we still got a long way to go, but I think it's all right to enjoy this tonight and be happy. Because it's hard. It's not easy. Clearly, it's my first time getting a championship. It is not easy. And we know we have a tough task ahead. They've been there many of times. They've won many of times. So I'm looking forward to it.
JT, you were talking about questioning yourself and then having to trust in yourself and push through. Especially in this game, this was the night where crunch time, you start hitting those shots, you start finding ways to get through their defense after struggling through that for even just the last few series. How big of just like a breakthrough moment was that for you to make the finals by being able to finally just solve whatever they throw at you?
Yeah, I think in those moments, right, you don't want to leave and feel like you could have done something more. So I think, I came in with the mindset today that, I was willing to do anything it took to win this game. However that looked, we all talked about it. But I know, especially for me, I came into the game, the only thing that mattered was winning. Y'all wasn't going to talk about how many points I had or how many shots I missed if we lost. It's all about, did you get it done or not? And I knew that coming in today, and the group knew that. So I think just coming in here and getting it done was big.
We keep asking about the turnaround and those points where things turned around, but how close was this team to not turning it around? How close was it to just actually giving in to all of the stuff that was happening and not getting to that point where you said, all right, we're going to do something?
Honestly, I don't. I never felt that. I know what a good group, essentially, feels like, right? And I felt that all along. And everybody believed, and I think that's half the battle. Everybody believing and wanting it to, for the right reasons. It was just a matter of time, honestly.